My fiancée made fun of my career at her office party. I broke off the engagement right in front of everyone. I'm a 31-year-old male and I work as a mechanic. It's not a glamorous job, but I'm proud of what I do. I grew up watching my dad fix cars in our garage and it sparked something in me. I went to trade school, got certified, and now I run my own small shop. It's honest work and it pays the bills. Most importantly, I love it. That's why what my fiancée, well ex-fiancée now, did at her office party hit me so hard. My ex, who I'll call F, is the opposite of me in a lot of ways. She's polished, works in corporate marketing, and has always been surrounded by people who value appearances above all else. Despite our differences, I thought we had something special. She used to tell me how much she admired my work ethic and how she loved that I followed my passion. Or at least that's what I thought she felt. This all started at F's company holiday party a few weeks ago. She was excited about it, saying it would be a chance for me to meet her colleagues and see her world. I was a little nervous. I'm not exactly comfortable in suits and fancy settings. But I wanted to support her, so I agreed to go. When we arrived, the event was exactly what I expected. Sleek, high-end, and filled with people who looked like they'd stepped out of a fashion magazine. F blended right in, laughing and chatting with her coworkers. I, on the other hand, felt like an outsider. But I told myself it didn't matter. I was there for her, not for them. Things started going south about an hour into the party. F was introducing me to a group of her colleagues when one of them, a guy who looked like he'd been born in a boardroom, asked me what I did for a living. I run a small auto repair shop, I said simply. Before the guy could respond, F jumped in. Isn't that cute, she said with a laugh. He's like a modern-day grease monkey. The group chuckled and I froze. Grease monkey, I repeated, glancing at her. She waved it off. Oh, come on. It's just a joke. Don't be so serious. The group quickly moved on, but I couldn't shake the comment. It wasn't just the words. It was the tone. The way she said it, like my job was some silly little hobby instead of a legitimate career. I brushed it off, telling myself I was overthinking it. But deep down it stung. The final blow came later that evening during a toast. F stood up in front of everyone, glass in hand, and started thanking her team for their hard work. Then out of nowhere she shifted the focus to me. And a special thanks to my fiancé, she said, smiling. He's not exactly a corporate guy, but he's great with his hands. If anyone's car breaks down, you know who to call. The room erupted in laughter. I felt my face heat up as dozens of eyes turned toward me, their smiles tinged with condescension. F was beaming, clearly pleased with herself, while I sat there humiliated. As the laughter died down, I locked eyes with F, silently asking her why. She didn't seem to notice my discomfort, or worse, she didn't care. She was too busy soaking in the attention, clearly proud of her little joke. I excused myself from the table and stepped outside to clear my head. The cool night air was a welcome relief, but my thoughts were anything but calm. I replayed her words over and over, the laughter echoing in my mind. This wasn't just a one-off comment. It was a pattern. She had reduced my career, my passion, to a punchline. And the worst part? She had done it in front of people who barely knew me. A few minutes later, F came outside, still holding her wine glass. There you are, she said, her tone light. Why'd you run off? I turned to her, trying to keep my voice steady. Do you have any idea how embarrassing that was? She blinked, clearly taken aback. What are you talking about? The toast, I said, my frustration bubbling to the surface. You made me sound like some kind of handyman you keep around for convenience. She laughed like it was no big deal. Oh, come on. It was just a joke. Everyone loved it. I didn't, I said firmly. And it's not the first time you've done this. You've made comments like this before, but tonight you crossed a line. Her smile faded, replaced by a defensive glare. You're overreacting. I was just trying to lighten the mood. By belittling me? I shot back. You say you respect what I do, but your actions say otherwise. Do you even realize how condescending you sounded? She crossed her arms. You're being dramatic. If you can't handle a little teasing, maybe you're the one with the problem. That was it. The mask had slipped. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. It was a fundamental difference in how she saw me and how I saw myself. I'd always tried to support her career, but she couldn't or wouldn't do the same for me. I took a deep breath, knowing what I had to say next. F, I can't do this anymore. Her eyes widened. What are you talking about? This relationship, I said, my voice steady. It's over. She laughed nervously. You can't be serious. Over a joke? You're really going to throw everything away because of one comment? It's not just one comment, I replied. It's how you see me. How you've always seen me. You don't respect what I do and I can't spend my life with someone who looks down on me. She stared at me, her expression shifting from disbelief to anger. You're being ridiculous, she snapped. You think you're so special because you fix cars? Newsflash. It's not that impressive. Her words cut deep, but they also solidified my decision. I took off the engagement ring and placed it in her hand. Good luck finding someone you actually respect, I said before walking back inside. As I walked back into the party, the weight on my chest began to lift. I knew ending the engagement in front of everyone would create a scene, but I didn't care. I deserved better than to be treated like a joke, especially by someone who claimed to love me. When I returned to the table, I calmly grabbed my coat and prepared to leave. F came rushing in behind me, clearly flustered. Wait, you're really going to make a spectacle out of this? She hissed, trying to keep her voice low. You did that all on your own, I replied, keeping my tone calm. Enjoy the rest of your party. The people around us were starting to notice the tension. I could see curious glances and whispered conversations, but I didn't stop. F grabbed my arm one last time, her voice desperate now. Please, let's talk about this. You're blowing everything out of proportion. I turned to her, meeting her eyes. I gave you chances to respect me, F. I supported you, celebrated your successes, and never belittled what you do. But you couldn't do the same for me. This isn't something I can talk out. It's who you are. With that, I walked out of the party, leaving her standing there with the engagement ring still in her hand. The drive home was quiet, my emotions a mix of relief and lingering frustration. I replayed the events of the night in my head, questioning whether I'd made the right decision. But every time I thought about her comments, the dismissive way she spoke about my career, I knew I'd done what was best for me. Over the next few days, the fallout began. Mutual friends started calling and texting, asking what had happened. Apparently F had wasted no time spinning her version of the story. He's so insecure, she wrote in a group chat. I was joking and he couldn't handle it. Who ends an engagement over a toast? I chose not to engage. The people who mattered knew the truth and I wasn't about to stoop to her level. But when one friend sent me screenshots of her venting on social media, I realized she wasn't going to stop. She painted me as controlling and overly sensitive, claiming she'd dodged a bullet. That's when I decided it was time to take control of the narrative. I reached out to the people who had been at the party, friends, colleagues, even acquaintances, and calmly explained my side of the story. I told them about the constant belittling, the lack of respect, and how the party was just the final straw. Most of them were understanding and some even apologized for laughing at the toast. One coworker of hers privately messaged me saying, I never liked how she talked about you. She made it sound like she was settling for less. It stung, but it also validated my decision. F had never truly valued me or my work, and I wasn't going to let her continue to define the narrative. My decision to end the engagement sent ripples through our social circles, but I stayed firm. F continued her attempts to paint me as the villain, but her behavior at the party and the stories others shared about her behind closed doors began to catch up with her. One particularly satisfying moment came when a mutual friend, who had been on the fence, messaged me. I talked to someone at her office, they wrote. They said she brags about how she settled for you because she thought you'd be easy to control. Sounds like you dodged a bullet. Dodged a bullet indeed. The ultimate moment of closure came when I got a call from her boss. Apparently the gossip about the party had made its way back to management and they were concerned about her professionalism. I didn't have to say much, just confirm the facts about the toast and her subsequent behavior. The boss thanked me and said they would handle it internally. I don't know what happened next, but I heard through the grapevine that F was passed over for a promotion she had been eyeing. Actions, after all, have consequences. With F out of my life, I threw myself into work and the things I loved. I started taking on more complex projects at the shop, upgraded some of my tools, and even began teaching a weekend class for aspiring mechanics. It felt good to focus on something that brought me joy, free from judgment or condescension. As for the engagement ring, I sold it and used the money to treat myself to a much-needed vacation. It was my way of closing that chapter and moving forward. Looking back, I realized the breakup wasn't just about the toast. It was about what the toast revealed. F didn't see me as an equal. She saw me as someone to mock, to control, to use for her own ego. And that's not love. Love is about respect, partnership, and lifting each other up, not tearing each other down for a cheap laugh. So if you're ever in a relationship where you feel belittled or undervalued, take this as your sign. You deserve better. Walk away even if it's hard. Thank you for watching. For more videos like this, remember to like and subscribe. Also remember to let us know your thoughts below in the comments.